I got to DJ for once in front of people, and it was such a weird experience, and I loved it.
Oh, did you go down on a Saturday?
Yeah. I
To the Steamboat?
Yeah, I was one of the people who was DJing at it. It was great fun.
I nearly went there. I should have gone. The rain put me off. I looked outside and thought, nope.
It was actually kind of all right. And then once the rain did start, it wasn't as heavy. I mean, the other day I went for a podcast walk and I came back absolutely drenched because it was sunny when I went out and tipping it down when I got back.
I saw Leroy's post, one of his posts, and it did look quite lively at one point.
Yeah. Hang on. I can just share a photo with you or video of me DJing. Come on. There we go.
Yeah.
It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it quite a bit.
Are you playing on a Denons? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got to get myself a pair of Denons. How do you think it went? The WWDC.
That's a big question.
I know it's a big question. I mean, for me, it was a hell of a lot more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was going to be a dull update of just fixes. And that's kind of true, but they're exciting fixes. They're not dull fixes at all. I mean, the way it opened, well, a little bit into it, just they showed a wall of text.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, how am I going to read this in the time? And I've heard several other YouTubers and podcasters talk about the same thing. And I've gone through that image now, and there's been some...
I knew it.
And there's amazing stuff in there.
Oh, you've got to tell me more, because I saw that freeze frame whilst I'm cooking, I'm watching the show, and I thought, they're going to get back to some of these things, surely.
You never do.
Some are bigger and some are smaller, and you can kind of catch some of the larger text. But, going back to you saying you thought it was going to be a boring update that is just about making it faster and whatnot, I wanted that. So I would have been happy with just that.
Yeah. But it was so much more exciting with all the updates it did get.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got so much weird things to discuss on the design side of things that I'm very happy about. But
yeah, the UI changes.
Yeah, you knew exactly what I meant. Mm-hmm. I will also say that this WWDC definitely felt different. It was kind of a more apologetic WWDC. Yeah. Even though I didn't think they would do that, I thought they would kind of just straight up go, here's all the new stuff. They did the live demos. They showed mistakes that happened. They discussed all of this kind of... I mean, it's an Apple sorry, isn't it? They didn't exactly say to people, we're sorry.
Did they? It felt like they did. I'm sure they did.
They didn't just say it. No, they kind of...
Okay.
They got, what's his name? Mr. Perfect Hair, as I'm going to call him.
Yeah, Federighi.
Yeah, Craig Federighi.
Yeah.
They got him to kind of be the, oh, I'm so sorry that all of this happened kind of person.
Yeah.
But that surprised me.
Yeah, I did watch a post interview with one of the Apple execs with an Australian journalist, and he talks about Siri, and they ask him to summarize it, and he said, I'm going to be honest, it's the Siri that always should have been, or something along those lines. And I thought, whoa, I've never heard Apple talk like that.
And generally, I think it's the first time Siri's been exciting in a long time.
Yeah.
I've also got to mention, John Turnus was not in it at all. There was no John Turnus. He was there in person, and a lot of people spoke to him at WWDC.
Yeah.
But he was not in the keynote one bit, which did surprise me as well.
Tim Cook came on at the end, and he said, just one more thing. And I thought, oh, he's going to say goodbye. And he kind of was wrapping up, wasn't he? Kind of
more mentioning that his amount of WWDCs he's been involved with and all that. And it was kind of a apologetic, not apologetic, a kind of a goodbye in a way, but not. I wasn't expecting that either. From what I know about Tim Cook, which isn't a lot, but I know from a few books I've read about him that he doesn't really like to focus on himself at all. So I'm surprised that was even in there.
Speaking of books, since we last spoke, I'm halfway through Apple in China.
Oh, what do you think?
It's really good so far.
Yeah.
It's really, really good so far. I haven't really put it down many days. really interesting to learn about the kind of the internal politics and tricks and functions of the Apple team. One of my favorite parts that I was a couple of chapters ago was when they sent the dude out to go and open up the Apple store in China on his own. And he was like, just getting in the middle of riots and whatnot and trying to like negotiate with the police and stuff. It's great.
There's so much about Apple that you learn from that book that you would never expect.
Nah, great recommendation.
I will say that usually when a WWDC event comes up, I rush to get all of the podcasts, all of the content that I'm going to watch before it done. So there was Waveform, there's Connected, there's Upgrades, some prediction channels on YouTube, like Snazzy Labs or something like that. I try and watch all of those. This time round, I ran out of time, and it might be my new favorite thing to listen to people's predictions after the show. It's quite entertaining to hear where people got it right and wrong.
Were they right?
Some of them were right. The main one that I listened to after the show, I managed to get Upgrade done before, but Waveform, they were pretty spot on with a lot of their predictions. And to be fair, there's been a lot of documentation already and rumors going around before it even started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What ones were the most spot on then?
The Siri stuff was spot on, the redesign and everything about that. And they mentioned the fact that they'll probably mention Google a few times. They only mentioned them once. They did.
I didn't even hear them mention Google at all.
They mentioned Gemini once.
Okay.
Right when the AI thing started. And the funny thing is they said, I can imagine the lock screen or that lock animation being shown so many times. Even, I think Marcus even says, it will be in full screen. There'll be a bit where it is just that lock. And that exactly happens in the event multiple times.
We've been through so many of these now. What have we televised probably for about 20 years? So we're starting to understand them, I think.
Yeah, true. There was also right at the end, I was about to stop the stream. The credits had already gone and all that. And then a rap starts. I forgot.
Really?
You didn't notice this?
No?
No, yeah, there's a rap at the end of the event where they rap about using different apps as the lyrics. I've
got to find this.
I've got it in my show notes linked down here. If you remember last year, they did the exact same thing, but with kind of a poetry reading.
Oh, I can't remember.
Let me try and find.
I hope they didn't write this rap with AI. Please tell me they got like a real writer in to do it.
They got Eric the architect in. I don't know who that is.
Nor do I, but good on you, Eric. Well done.
Here is the video. I'm sending it to you. Probably don't watch it while we're... maybe do. From a design point of view, what do you think?
I think obviously you're more qualified than me. I found that they started pointing things out that I didn't realize were a problem, like with the corners and the menu not reaching the edge. I didn't even notice.
How?
But one thing I did laugh at was how they brought the menu bar back. That made me chuckle.
That was a thing that I completely missed, personally. I didn't see the menu bar thing. But the moment that the corner fixes got mentioned, I was very happy. Right now... Running Tahoe, I can see about 6 applications stacked on top of each other that all have different corners, and it's been driving me mad since the update. I don't know why we have floating menu bars on the side. I saw someone say I'm going to miss that. I really am not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is very much a step back in design. We're back to Sonoma in some of the areas of design instead of being this whole new glass interface. And I am happy about that. It just seems a bit weird for Apple to kind of admit that they screwed up a design.
Yeah, but I think progress in all forms, whether it's design or politics or whatever, relationships, a lot of the time progress comes when it goes a bit too far and then you pull back.
Yeah. I mean, this is...
Because how do you know you've gone too far?
This is like iOS 12 or whichever one was the kind of the fixing one, or Snow Leopard.
Yes, Snow Leopard was for Mac. Yeah.
This is what we have needed for a while. It's been kind of getting a bit messy, and then they tried to unify the design and it went too far, and we're coming back to a more normalization of design again.
Yeah.
Which is why...
And the slider. So everyone's going to pull that slider completely to the right, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I am.
Unless you've got an M5 Pro Max, something like that.
The weird thing is, I remember when Tahoe came out, that in the demo, that slider existed.
Did it?
I think demo 4, they brought in the slider.
Okay.
And then they removed it. I think what they must have realized is a lot of people are going to want this. Why don't we just announce it next year and fully refine it instead?
Mm. Yeah. And yeah, let's try and dictate and see if they stay with us.
I mean,
and it didn't work.
I also got to say, this might be my least favorite name for an OS, and probably the first and last time I'm going to call it by its full name. Golden Gate is not a good name for an OS, personally.
It's the only OS name I think that I recognize from
Yeah.
I don't recognize all the others they've been saying, but everyone recognizes the Golden Gate Bridge. So.
That's why I think it's a bit of a problem. Tahoe was slightly hard to pronounce, but now I've got used to it. That's okay. But Golden Gate, if I say to someone I'm running macOS Golden Gate, people are just going to be confused.
Yeah.
So from now on, I'm just going to call it macOS 27. I think they've kind of ruined that bit, at least for this year. Next year. And to me, it also proves that they are running out of names for location-based names.
They made a bit of a joke of that as well, didn't they?
I know they made a joke of it, but still, if you're pointing it out, then change your system. It's been a few years.
Maybe come up with a new place.
Yeah. Maybe choose, I don't know, street names. They're probably going to be more complicated, but...
Oh, I was thinking more like macOS Orwell Bridge or macOS Framlingham.
Can we not just call everything after bridges, please? I mean, they could leave the US, pick different places around the world.
China. This should be all China.
Yeah, fair point.
Absolutely.
That'd be fun to try and pronounce some of those names.
Yeah.
I also, on the whole sidebar thing, Apple Music that they showed in the demo looks way better with that sidebar back. It properly looked ugly. Same for Finder. I'm happy to see that that's all been fixed.
I'm jumping the gun, but my favorite feature, because we're talking about it now, is Apple Music launching how much percent? 30% faster or something it said on the text.
So
yes, that is the biggest problem with macOS for me right now.
I didn't, like she said in the whole presentation, that kind of, wait, it can get faster. I didn't know that this was going to be a thing. I'm happy that they brought it in, and the fact that they've even gone back all the way to, did they say iPhone 11 and upgraded the CPU scheduling is insane. I'm very happy that's happening, and that means a lot of people whose phones were kind of dying are going to get access back.
My iPad Pro 2018 gets support, and it was terrible on the latest iOS 26. So this is going to give me another year or two out of it, hopefully. Brilliant. But building on that, it wasn't, with Apple Music, they actually specified about it playing that much faster. Because I don't know if you use Apple Music, but when you launch it on a Mac, it takes whatever to launch, but then it won't play immediately. You'll hit play and it just thinks. And sometimes it thinks for such a long time, I just quit and I don't even play in it anymore. I'll go and play the radio or something. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I have tried Apple Music before, and it is still slow. I keep my own collection of music on Apple Music currently. I don't use their subscription service.
Okay.
Even then, it's still quite slow, and that's all stored locally. I will also say that there are some new app icon changes. Again, we've changed the system once again. I don't know how they're doing that. I'm very curious. I might actually watch one of the developer conferences about app design specifically, or the app icon design, because while watching it, it looked like they were just going to update the already existing icons with the new system, which makes me think that the they must have a file format similar to SVG or something like that that automatically twists everything.
Mm.
Also,
I'm looking at them now.
While we're talking about designs, I should also note that we are not developers. So we are definitely going to be focused on the user interaction side of things, how we can improve our workflow. If anyone is here for the new Xcode stuff, such as the new themes or the AI integration, we're probably not going to go anywhere near that subject because, again, we aren't programmers. We're not going to be focused on that. Just putting that out there before I waste someone's time.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, sorry, carry on. I'm just looking at the updates.
What do you think about the new app icons?
To the app icons, I'm looking at the photos one. That looks quite cool, actually.
Yes, I agree. The photos one is very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you turning up the frosting effect or turning it down will affect those. I can't imagine it will, but that'd be a really cool thing that they could add on top of it.
Yeah. It's nice. Oh, they know, and I think they even said the little small changes adding up is going to feel like something fresh. They don't have to do anything big and bold every year. They can make minor improvements.
Another thing that they announced, which I entirely missed at the time, I saw it quickly go past on the screen and I had to quickly try and rewind or find it somewhere else, is the new watchOS improvements. See, you look as confused as I did when I found out.
I'm trying to remember because I did see a watch screen. Was it something to do with Find My iPhone, wasn't it?
No.
Or maps. There was a map on a watch face. I remember that.
There's map improvements using Gaussian splats, which is very interesting.
Right.
Which, if you don't know what that is, I mean, there's some really good videos from Corridor Crew. Maybe I'll put that in the description. But Gaussian splats are pretty much, in the simplest form, you taking a load of photos, and from those photos, it does calculations to figure out the positioning and create a 3D image.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I know the feature you're talking about.
The watchOS improvement is a dynamic app grid that they added. So this feature allows you to have, I think, 5 apps that you go to fairly frequently. And then it's okay. It's pretty much the macOS dock on your watch.
Okay.
I'm intrigued of how that works.
Yeah, I'm puzzled. Does anybody click an app on their watch?
I can't think of that many times when I had an Apple Watch that I used it properly. It was mostly
Fitness app.
Yeah, I mean, true. I would like to give the Apple Watch another try, but I've just pre-ordered. Well, about 3 months ago, I pre-ordered the Pebble Watch, so I'm not doing that now. It still hasn't arrived.
You're still waiting.
I'm still waiting on that. It got delayed this week.
See, now if they had the manufacturing pipeline, we're not going to get into this.
Yeah, I know. Also, there's been some lock screen changes. This was mentioned after WWDC.
Okay.
Where they have now made it so you can make the time smaller, go into kind of the top grid section, so you can entirely remove the giant time bit, which I'm looking forward to as a feature because that means more spaces for widgets. Yeah. And you can now swipe away currently playing. So if you're listening to any media and you don't want it to be on your lock screen, you can now swipe it away. Can't say it's ever been a problem for me, but now that it's an option, it might be useful.
I guess if you've got your phone laying down and you don't want the person next to you to know that you're listening to something really corny, that could be quite useful.
True. I'm being interrupted by a cat. Also, there were some slight hints towards the iPhone Fold or whatever they're going to be calling it, because very, very quickly, well, okay, I hit the microphone. I said I wasn't going to do it, and I did it. A pass and you miss it kind of moment. When that woman, I really should remember the name of these people, was talking about the whole of the design improvements. Just on the desk was an iPhone Fold on the side.
Really?
Yeah, there were about 2 shots of it being in shot, and people caught it, along with the Finder guy as well. They were all there. There was a bunch of little secrets in the background of that one shot. But most importantly, they said that we have designed a UI kit that now allows you to flexibly and dynamically change the sizing of each application. Now, why would they need that unless they were making a foldable phone?
What devices do they have? Yeah, I mean, maybe iPhone Fold's coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. That's quite funny that they're dropping little kind of like Easter eggs, if you like, in their videos as well.
I don't think it's the first time they've done it. They've done it a few times. I remember when the M1 came out, there was a secret in that shot. I can't remember what it was. And I think the Mac Mini was actually in shot for many years and no one knew what it was.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that. There was a bunch of secrets just in the background. I would have to double check that. Not confirmed.
Tesla done something similar to that, didn't they? When they done their robotics video, there were a bunch of Teslas in the background, and one of them is the new the new big Tesla 7-seater that's kind of come out in China.
It is fun when companies do this kind of secret thing.
Yeah.
It encourages the community to kind of focus a bit more and delve deeper. It can bite them back, though, in the future.
Yeah.
Safari also added in a bunch of new features. They added in a iOS-style page refresh, so you can now drag your mouse down to refresh the page.
Yep.
There is now, we're not in the AI section, but we'll bring this up very quickly, that they have now allowed you to make your custom extensions by telling it to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work, but I am very curious about that. I think there were a few design changes. Oh, yeah, and the organization, automatic organization, where you can get
tabs.
All your tabs.
Yeah, that's really cool. And they're starting to make, it's AI, I guess, but they're starting to make steps towards giving it more agentic features too.
Yeah, I do want, and this is something that will never happen, I want them to redesign Safari entirely to be more like Arc, but that's because I like Arc and no one else is going to agree with that.
Because nobody likes Arc apart from you.
I really liked Arc.
It's like Safari, do you use Safari?
I do not use Safari. I really want to. That is the thing, because it is so much faster than all my other browsers. But that new way of working, I prefer it way more than the more traditional browser system.
They've got the most popular browser on their devices. Why would they copy the least popular browser on their devices?
Because it's not true.
Because it's better.
No, it's just not true.
More people use Safari on iOS than anything else.
I want to just point out that on the iPhone, you have no other choice but Safari. Even when you're running a different browser, it's still Safari underneath. So them saying it's the most popular one on their devices is just them cheating.
Isn't Chrome now Chromium, though, on iOS?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can.
I thought they changed that.
I'll double check that later and put a note in if I'm wrong. If there's no note there, I'm right.
Cool.
Also, my second favorite announcement of the entire thing. EQ coming to AirPods.
I thought of you straight away when I saw that, and I clapped at my TV screen.
I was so happy to see that.
Don't get too happy. It's only a free band EQ by the looks of it.
It's still an EQ. I can be happy with that at least.
It's free band, but I wonder if you can... They didn't really show it. I wonder if you can move those bands to different frequencies or if you're just locked in at 3 frequencies.
I think,
be interesting
based on the design, it looks like it's locked into those 3 frequencies because it kind of had the bars in rows, like 3 different rows.
Okay.
So I think that's probably
that eventually that'll be a 5 and then a 9 or whatever. It will eventually get more complicated.
The AirPods came out in 2018, 2019. Why is it taking this long to put an EQ on them?
And will my AirPods be supported with EQ or not?
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe it's just an OS update. I should check that, really. I don't know where that's... If they're bringing that to that. I'm about to choke. Yeah, I have no idea if they're bringing that page.
Maybe that will be the excuse I needed.
I'm going to go to the Apple Demos website, which I didn't know existed until this week.
Maybe, I mean, what they should really do is just put EQ on a system level. Why does it need to be part of the AirPods? Put it on a system level, and then whatever your phone connects to via Bluetooth has those settings.
Demo.apple.com? Is that the URL? No. I can't find it now.
Never heard of it.
Someone linked to it when it got taken down for a little bit before the event.
Is it Apple Pay demo?
No.
Apple.com? No, because that's an Apple Pay demo.
No, I just can't find it now. That's really weird because it should be in my histories. History. Apple. You scroll through.
Demo unit.apple.
No.
Oh, no.
Because that gives you all of the information on what it will support. I guess I could just go to actual apple.com. One thing I'll note while we're doing this, every single time we've had a WWDC or any updates from Apple, I store the websites as Internet Archive links because I don't intend people to actually buy or purchase anything from those links. I mean, it's Apple. Everyone knows where to go. It's more for historical preservation. So if people listen back on the episodes in the past, you can still go to the exact same page because Apple just update the same page over and over and over again. This is something I've done from the very beginning of Functions.
Oh, cool.
They don't have AirPod updates. Pods. Would it be called OS 26 or 27?
27?
I don't know if they even call it like an OS. Firmware updates for AirPods. That did not help me. Okay, this is just a rabbit hole we're going down now.
Let's move on.
Okay, got it. Moving on. Where were we? We were on, not that section. Speed of improvements, we already done that. Oh, Markdown, one of those small notes that was on the wall of notes, or wall of text. Markdown has been added to Apple Notes. My favorite... What, sorry?
What's Markdown?
I am surprised I haven't talked to you about this. Do you remember when I used to use Obsidian, or I still use Obsidian?
Yeah.
Or Notion, or any of these platforms?
Yeah.
They all use Markdown as their writing language, or their script, their language that you can write in. It takes a while to get used to, but once you have learned that way of writing, it's incredibly fast and simple. I will never leave Markdown now that it exists. It's existed for a very long time, but now I'm aware of it. I'm never leaving it. It's too perfect of a system for me. I even write our show notes in Markdown. It's just great.
Okay, cool. And now it's supported in Notes. Cool. Notes is a brilliant app. It's a very, it's not very well celebrated, but it's slowly got really, really functional and useful. And the way it syncs across devices really quickly and you can share notes is great.
Yeah. For me, I still have that negative feeling towards the Notes app because I remember when I had an iPhone 4, I had to use any other note app except for Notes because it was very simple.
What happened to Evernote? Remember that?
I
had
do remember Evernote
before.
Is that still around?
Used to have the elephant on it, didn't I? I used to love that app. Oh, it's still about.
Evernote.
I just think Apple kills apps like that, don't they? Because they slowly evolve and just take all the features.
Hey, Evernote supports Markdown.
Yeah.
Also, iMessage improvements that are generally quite useful. I don't have problems with Wi-Fi and data personally, but apparently that's a big thing that people have problems with. I just don't connect to many Wi-Fi networks. I usually just stay on data when I'm out and about. And here's probably the most important one to you, and I generally want to know your opinion on this. I mean, we haven't got enough time to go through them individually, maybe in a future episode. Yeah. The child protection systems that were brought in.
Yeah. So listening to this, and they done it early on in a presentation, I was glad that they have redesigned the app. I felt like in the presentation, they were trying to talk about features as if they haven't existed on iOS for years and years and years. And don't get me wrong, maybe they've improved a lot of these screen time or whatever they've renamed it as features. But there wasn't a lot new there. I like that you can get granular with controlling when an app is being used and choose different days. And then I looked into it further afterwards, and one of the big things they didn't really announce was that now, so I use screen time with my kids, and I'll give my daughter an hour on Roblox. She'll start playing Roblox. then she might go and do something else and come back to Roblox. But that hour is still ticking when she's doing something else. So when she gets back to it, she might have 5 minutes left. Total playtime 15 minutes. Now it will just run when you're actively on the app and it's got screen time, which is excellent. I didn't know it had nudity blockers. So nudity and graphic content blockers are really cool to have. And the lockout features look a lot more robust. But something just tells me that Apple are just trying to... It's weird, right? As a company, you're trying to tell kids not to use the app. But at the same time, they were saying things like, and we know the internet is the place and apps are the best place to learn this. And I just thought, it's a weird position. It feels like you're being forced to do this.
I think so. Yeah, they are being forced. The exact same day that this was being announced, I went on to BBC News and the EU brought in some new rules and regulations on that. So they kind of were trying to get ahead of being scrutinized for what they are doing. I think that these updates are very important, but not being a parent, I have no idea how important. One of the best examples so far that I saw was from Snazzy Labs. They did a video on the whole WWDC event and they were discussing how influential this would be for them. I'd recommend giving them a watch to discuss that. I also think the suggestions is a really good idea. Not very many people are going to follow it, I think. But
the suggestions?
It has suggestions based on the American authority of something.
Oh, yeah.
That they have to kind of follow, or that you should follow this, and then your kid can be fine at this age, and this age, and then preset things. That's great. And there was a thing I remember I'd actually like it for myself, not just for the whole kids automation, which is when they're at school or at home, it changes what they have access to. Yeah. Generally, I would like that for myself as well. I know focus modes are a thing, but if that limitation is another level, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is just focus modes for kids in a way.
It's focus modes for kids that they can't control and you get notified of. I hope they've worked out a better system for notifications. So at the moment, my daughter's phone will be limited at certain times of the day, and she can still request to use an app. Fair enough. But the way it works at the moment is it will send me a text message every time she sends a request.
Yeah.
And my wife at the same time. And there must be a more elegant way to do that.
It kind of seems like they've doubled down on that, bringing it into your messages app. And they've definitely... It's... Being a kid that had an iPhone when these systems first started coming in, I found it incredibly irritating. My brother's going through the same thing. And then my dad would often find it quite irritating having to agree or disagree to these stuff all the time.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of me, a very little bit of me, that thinks maybe AI could be useful in this area, but I'm not sure if I want to trust it with that situation where it automatically goes, maybe this person should be allowed to have this.
Yeah.
It's a confusing area. And I think they're trying their best as parents, according to them, which they said so many times during the event.
We can assume your parents are all old. You have to keep telling us. You're probably grandparents, actually.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think I should probably read into it a bit more, and we'll discuss it a bit more in the next episode, if nothing else has come up.
Yeah, and one last thing, I hope they fix the bugs, because my son worked out all the bugs and worked out how to get around a lot of those features in screen time.
I think that's what Snazzy Labs discusses, that they fixed quite a lot of the bugs on that. Apparently there was a bug for a very long time that it would stop counting after about a year. So it didn't matter.
Okay. Yeah.
So hopefully that's all fixed. I think he even says it is fixed in the demo that he's running.
I mean, if you've got smart kids, they just won't update their phone.
Yeah.
And then it won't work.
True. Yeah, that is very true. If you're enjoying the show, there's a whole lot more where that came from over at wonkypod.com. We run a bunch of shows. Viewfinder is our walk and talk street photography podcast. Screen Free is where we get into film development and reviews. And coming very soon, Overthink, a documentary-style deep dive into the creative world. Head over to wonkypod.com to support us on Patreon and keep all of this going. Right, back to it. Right, let's get on to Apple Intelligence. Or
Ooh, the big one.
Siri AI.
Siri AI.
They've kind of rebranded it entirely to Siri AI. Did you just enable your Siri?
Yeah.
That's very funny. Yeah, I think this was the correct choice to go for with renaming it. I mean, it's still Apple Intelligence, but everyone has a bad perspective on Apple Intelligence now. That's just kind of hidden in the background. We are now just fully on Siri AI, which definitely should have been the approach we went with the first time round. Instead of coming up with a new acronym, just use what you've already got and update it and actually make it way more useful.
I agree. Yeah.
What?
And it is a big marketing challenge, isn't it? Siri's also got a bad rep. They need to let people know that it is really new, and renaming it helps with that.
I think Siri has an advantage that when it first came out, it was a cool bit of technology that everyone was interested in. Whether it was broken or not, it was still something new.
Yeah.
Apple Intelligence never had that. It was broken from the start and people didn't really associate it with it very well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a joke from the start.
There are a lot of really good features. Most of them are just re-announcements of what they promised a few years ago. So if you want to know what those are, you can go back, 2 years when we were doing the podcast episode on that and sounding incredibly excited about what's coming. And that aged poorly. But this time I am happy, very happy to see that this is happening. I think the integration of Siri is good.
Yeah.
They still have the whole screen thing where it will look at your screen, but from the looks of it, it only ever happens now when you open up Siri itself.
The personal... Oh, right. I didn't realize it looks at your screen if you don't tell it to.
I believe that when you hold down the Siri button, it takes a kind of a snapshot of what... I hit this... I keep hitting the microphone still. I believe when you use Siri and you hold down the Siri button, it will... look at what's on your screen and use that as context.
That's fair enough, because whatever your device is, it will give you a visual indication. I'm guessing that like a light will come on, and you are making that move to push that button to activate it. So yeah, that's fine.
Also, I believe we mentioned this in the past when we heard about the rumors. Apple is using Gemini as its foundation for its foundation models.
Yes.
So it's not straight from Google. It's kind of taking their model or their training system at least to create their own AI, and from that point onwards, using it to be trained on your data, on your device.
And the Apple exec I was talking about, I should find his name out really, was also saying, there was some confusion in the leaks, and they were saying it's Google, and he was saying it's not. It's their, like you said, the foundation model, but they've also developed some things, especially for Siri as well, that make it a bit more unique and work in the way that Apple would like it to work, which is the way it really should be.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying that it was going to be just Gemini in the background. It's not. It is their own thing. Ish.
Oh, the voices. I
was going to get to that. Yeah, I am confused on that initially. That was my initial response, but I am excited to even just mess around with it and give it a try and personalize the voice of Siri. I don't use voices on my Siri. I have never, can't say never. Recently, I stopped using it. I just would rather talk to it and read the text off my screen. Okay. If this feels more personal, because when I use Claude, I do use that feature, talking to it quite a lot, and I run with ideas back and forth. So if it does work, then I'll probably use it. But I kind of hope that they'll at least add during this beta to the new Siri app that it will just be when you're in the Siri app. I'd rather have that conversation there instead of that quick chat.
Yeah.
Because there are times that you want to talk to it, and there's times you just want to quickly chat with it. Hi, Sumi. Sorry about that.
I can hear that.
Yeah.
So the Siri app, I'm most excited to have that on my Mac, because
Sorry.
the cat is too. The cat's
Yeah.
excited for it on the Mac. Just because they've redone the indexing, right, on macOS.
Yeah,
And maybe iOS too. I'm not sure.
They're using, move out the way. They're using semantic indexing now for Siri, which they were before just using it for Spotlight. I'm kind of sad that they've redesigned Spotlight. The new design was already quite interesting, but I would have to get my hands on it to first give my opinions on that, apart from just the design point of view.
When they announced the re-indexing, I just felt sorry for Windows users because Mac was already a light years ahead when it comes to Spotlight and search in general. And now they just don't have a chance if this is as good as they're saying it's going to be.
Well, you say that. When I was on Windows, I used a thing called Power Tools.
Yes.
Power Tools.
Yeah, Power Tools. Yeah.
That gave me the ability to be able to search through my files as well, which is some sort of indexing. Maybe not that intelligent, but that worked.
Yeah.
And this new semantic one, I'm kind of worried for at the beginning because it's going to put a lot of pressure on your Mac when you first update. But once you've done that, it should be less pressure. But that first update, your computer's going to be boiling hot. I remember the first time, with the latest update, Tahoe, when I updated my computer, it got really, really hot for a few hours and then cooled down.
Well, re-indexing takes forever. It takes forever. Like, it can take hours and hours and hours and hours. So, yeah. But it's long-term. We've got to think about the long-term benefits.
Yeah. Also, the Siri APIs have now been redesigned entirely, pretty much destroyed and started over again with Core AI now being the kit that people use for all interactions. So if they want to run an AI on the device, one of their own, then they'll be using Core AI. Or if you want to interact with Siri, you'll be using Core AI.
Okay.
Another thing that's probably my third favorite. Third favorite announcement. The fact that you can select 3 files and tell it to generate something based on those files is going to be incredibly useful.
And that was a demo, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very much looking forward to that. That's practically what I use Claude for now. I connect it with my Obsidian or my Notion, and I tell it to compare the files and create notes and stuff like that. The fact that I can now do that on the Mac is going to be amazing, along with it being able to take, being able to do this with screenshots and the snippets. Pretty much your Command Shift 4 is now going to become your new quickly search something button. I think there's a different combination of keys, but that is what I'm very much looking forward to. That's going to save me a hell of a lot of time and maybe kill off Claude for me. But I will have to see what that is like first before fully agreeing to that. What do you...
I wonder...
Sorry, go ahead.
You go for it.
No, you go ahead, because I was going to start a new subject.
Okay, so I wonder if Siri... Because they're really acting on about how it's really conversational and it remembers for a long time. Things that other AIs have done for a while. And I wonder how good it will be, because I'll be looking forward to using CarPlay and just talking to Siri about things that I think about in my car and I want to know the answer to, because the car is a real thinking space for me. And at the moment, all you can say to Siri is play this song. So I'm looking forward to
you
seeing
just reminded me
like.
of another thing. They've added being able to stream AirPlay video to the CarPlay on specific cars currently. I don't know why.
What?
Yeah. It's probably only going to let you do it when you're not moving, because that's what they usually do.
How do they know I'm not moving?
That's why it's probably with a certain amount of cars, because there is already integration like that will tell the car when you're not moving that it will allow you to do that sort of media
so
playing.
I can move really slowly and they probably wouldn't know for a little while.
Yeah, but then you'll have a lot of people tooting at you at a roundabout or something.
Yeah. The last thing before we move from Siri is, did you notice how much of an emphasis they put on that EU will not get it?
Yes. So that is one of the things I have been desperately researching since. I've even posted this on my Blue Sky account and stuff like that. From what I know, it doesn't look like we're going to get it.
No, we are. We're not in the EU.
We're not in the EU. Some articles say that we're going to get it from, and then some other articles say we're not going to get it. So
Oh no.
we got to wait and find out. We got the worst
Okay.
part of the deal on this whole thing because we're not in the EU, but at the same time, we do follow some of their rules. So it might mean that they are just being a pain in the ass. I have a dream of one day working for Apple, but I want to point this out. This is an incredibly dickish thing for Apple to do. I'm going to have to censor that. Because why bother to block the EU on something, as far as I know, they have not said that you need to block yet.
Yeah.
I've checked the rules, and it seems that most of the stuff that Apple has been sued for, or most of the rules that are directed at technology currently, are about running the App Store and payment. There's not a lot focused on running LMs locally on your device or on the internet. If someone can find me evidence of that, then I'll understand this. But I'm just not happy at Apple for even trying to attack the EU or China based on this. China, I know, has stricter regulations. The EU, not happy about this.
Okay, so two things. First thing is, I think we will get this feature because EU made it possible, or made Apple make it possible, that you can use third-party app stores on your phone. We didn't get that.
True. Yes.
So
this is where I've seen that kind of articles say that we're going to get it because we aren't following those rules specifically.
So there's already precedent for that. Second thing is, from what I've heard, and again, it was the Apple exec, I'm going to have to send you the link. He said the big issue with the EU is Apple are claiming they don't want to share the data that we give the AI with other AI providers because they've got their whole Apple privacy thing going on. And part of the EU regulation is saying you've got to share all of that data with everybody to make it a fair playing field. So you can't hold that information and make everyone just use your AI backend. And they said they're not going to budge on the privacy issue. And then one of the EU leads has come out and directly spoken to Apple and addressed what they've said and basically called them liars. He's like, here's the actual truth of what happened. And it's a really interesting back and forth,
so there's
which I don't really care about because we're going to get it.
I will also say that the Apple newsroom, also going to be linked in the description below, that they have a whole document on this subject as well. Mm-hmm. I'd recommend giving that a read if you're interested or if you live in the EU. I am hoping that we're going to get it. And if we don't get it, I'm swapping all of my devices to US to give it a try. Because I'm generally excited about this new Siri.
Greg Jos Wozniak, I'll give you the name.
Oh, yeah.
Or Wozniak
Wozniak is
say the name.
Yeah.
Wozniak was the founder. It's Joswiak. Jozak. I guess that's him. I will send you the link. It's a good little chat. He goes in on the EU, like he's quite aggressive on it. And I think Apple are really trying to use their leverage, just like they do in the Apple in China book, to try and get what they want there. And they're trying to use the public now, aren't they, to sway.
Maybe we should do an Apple in China episode.
Yeah, for sure. Let me finish the book. Give me a week.
Okay. We aren't entirely going away from Siri. We're still going to stay on that subject. It's more, we're going to swap to the design of Siri. Now, Apple didn't need to do this. They already redesigned a whole of Siri very recently with the last update. But what do you think? Which I
like.
Yeah, the last update, very bright and colorful. This update, very dark. Quite the opposite. And even calling back to its more original design when it would take over the whole screen with a black background and the little purple button. Purple button's not there, but then we went on to the stage of the waveformy thing, and that's back. I never liked the waveformy thing, but now it's back again. So, yay.
I like it.
I really like the design as well. I
like the fact that it kind of comes out of the cutout at the top.
Yeah.
What they call it, the dynamic island. And I like the pull down to get into the app as well. I think that's it's clever. I mean, I've seen it done in other apps before, but when I saw that, I thought, okay, yeah, I would definitely use that when I want to find out a bit more. Let me pull down and actually go into the app.
My favorite interaction has to be the whole iPadOS interaction where you can drag it and it's this little bubble that moves around the top. Really cool looking. I will say I'm not a fan of the design of the Siri app, the new one that's just been announced, I don't think that's going to be the easiest way to search for your past chats. I think that might need to be redone a little bit. And it probably will get an update in the future because that looks very similar to the journal app that they've got. It looks quite literally like a copy and paste from the journal app.
I wonder if they'll come out with a way to delete all of your chats in one go, because that seems to be something that these AI apps are making really difficult.
I don't know why they didn't go with any similar design of any current LMs like Claude or ChatGPT. That system currently works. Maybe, I mean, it's Apple. They like to take a new approach on everything. Maybe that's just what they were going for. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that app. Or its icon, the new icon, it's just boring to me. It's not particularly Siri-like.
Yeah.
But yeah. The other thing, and the thing, I swear I said this in the past, when the Vision Pro came out, is I said they should have a Siri bot or something that sits on your desk in a 3D thing. I remember seeing demos, other people agreeing with this. I'm so glad that they actually made a 3D marble that you can chat to on the Vision Pro. That is,
you just look at it, right?
Yeah, that is great. And the fact that it knows what you're looking at, so you can just start chatting to it. And so many good integrations with that. I'm very happy they did that. They have the whole thing that if you look at it and start talking, it knows that you're talking to it. If you look at something else, it knows what you're looking at and will use that as context as well. That is what, I mean, that is the Jarvis that people wanted.
And that will be when Apple Glasses come out, because they're coming out, right?
Yeah.
I think Apple Glasses and iPhone Fold are pretty much guaranteed in the next few years. Yeah, that if that's always sitting in the corner of your Apple Glasses, you can glance to the side. I can imagine having an argument with someone and going, is she right? Because it's heard the context and it would just say, of course she's right. She always is. I'm like,
that is just another thing that makes me really want to own a Vision Pro, but that everything else is not reasonable for owning a Vision Pro. I hope that they do revisit it, though. I hope this isn't the end of Vision Pro. Now that they're all focused on the glasses. I hope.
Well, they mentioned it a few times the other day.
Yeah.
So it makes me confident that they're still thinking about it. They're not trying to hide it.
Also, with more integrations, one of my favorite things, and I think we discussed this in the last episode as well, is that they've moved the, I think it was called like Apple Intelligence Image or Apple Intelligence Camera. That's no longer a widget, which I'm so happy about because it was so hard to find when you didn't want it to be a widget.
Yeah.
Because I like to keep my control panel very minimal. So I removed it because I hardly ever use it. But now that it's in the camera app, that is amazing. I'm so happy that that's there. It's like when everyone used to buy QR code apps or download them.
Yeah.
Now that's built into the camera app. I think that is going to be incredibly useful in the future for anything you want.
Yeah, I will definitely use that a lot more. I just hope that, well, that's going back to the screenshot. I normally use it through screenshots thing on my screen.
Yeah.
Screenshot it, and then I'll share that screenshot with Perplexity. I hope they've still got share sheets included in those things.
Actually, that does remind me. Recently, I started using that whole screenshot feature on the phone to summarize stuff. That's been quite useful. You not know you can do that?
No.
If you take a screenshot on your phone and say there's an Apple event coming up, because I knew about the date of WWDC before they had a calendar event. I can't remember why, but I took a photo of an article saying it, and just from there, it automatically figured out there's a date. It says WWDC, add it to your calendar, and that's what I did.
Oh, wow.
That's generally very useful.
Yeah.
I quite like that feature quite a lot. I know a lot of people don't like the new screenshot feature, but I did. It's one of the only things I quite liked from the iOS 26. Let's also quickly just skim over the most boring app that Apple are still messing around with for some reason. Image Playground. They've added reframing imagery to the actual Photos app. So that's not really Image Playground, but I thought I'd chuck it in this section. I'm not happy about that because it kind of confuses the rules of what is a photo even more. But
listen, that is a small thing that was mentioned, but when that is one frame, when that gets ramped up to 25 frames and we can reframe videos, I can imagine people just shooting
Reframing
things.
videos?
Of course, if you can reframe an image, you can reframe a video, right?
Oh, no.
It's just more processing power, more frames. So when you can shoot, I don't know, a piece to camera and then reframe by copying and pasting, having 3 angles, all of a sudden video becomes really, really accessible to everybody, and it's scary.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that idea at all. Also, Image Playground has added in realistic mode. Yay. Who wants this?
Especially when it's limited by tokens or whatever.
Yeah, which I am happy they brought in, actually, to be honest. The weirdest thing, though, is I really like the new Apple, the app icon. The new app icon for Image Playground. It looks really nice.
Let me check this out.
Generally, really nice looking. But now that we've made it to the end of the Siri section, there is a huge, huge problem. On-device models will only be available on the iPhone Air, 17 Pro, and 17 Pro Max. I have no idea how many features we are going to be missing. Also, the M3 and M4 are all that it gets access to.
I couldn't believe that. So I saw the iOS and I thought, fair enough. It's about the RAM. People are saying it's about 12 gig of RAM they need, blah, blah, blah. But macOS? That's ridiculous.
Well, the M3 and M4 both have a dedicated section of the chip that is for neural thinking. And so that's probably the reason why.
But this new MacBook Neo is not looking so great anymore.
Yeah, but how many people are going to be using the AI feature?
A lot, I imagine. Like Image Playground and the AI voices, they're quite mainstream features.
True. I see me.
Categories.
The categories. The thing is, for me, there's been this whole problem that I don't think that the iPhone, the Pro phones specifically, are that pro. This at least adds a feature that I could classify as pro for users that need to do a lot of processing or a lot of planning. It's going to be great for, let's say, assistants that need to get a lot noted down very quickly. If they can quickly go to Siri and note it all down, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But from the other perspective, I don't like the Pro phones personally. I am a person who likes the one camera system. So there's a very little chance I'm ever going to get this if it stays on the Pro. I'm wondering whether this will stay on the Pro for this generation and this generation alone, or the next one, or is it going to be one of those things like we only recently just got 12 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of RAM as the base RAM amount on phones. And the Mac was updated to have a base gigabytes of 12, I think, or something like that. That took a very long time. I have
16.
I have a feeling that this is going to come like that. We're going to be waiting quite a few years for this to come down to the more accessible phones. Until it's easy and cheap for the cheaper phones to do this.
Possibly. The only caveat to that is it's coupled up with an iCloud Plus subscription, which they want, they want that money. So they kind of want it on as many install bases as possible too. I don't know. I really feel sorry. RIP to all of the iPhone 16 owners.
Hi.
They got a bad deal. I've got a 15 Pro and my phone can do what yours can do. And you bought yours based on Apple Intelligence.
Well,
and now you're not getting it all.
I couldn't care less about Apple Intelligence. Although I do have it turned on my phone. I don't have it turned on my Mac. Primarily.
Too much space,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I wanted storage.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've made it to the end. What was the best part? I mean, what is your favorite feature? Because we've talked a lot about what my favorite features are. But what's yours?
Yeah. Honestly, we've gone over mine, but it's such a small thing, but it is the speed. I really want a faster iPad. My iPad at the moment is on its last legs. And if I can get an iPad that works, if I can get my iPad Pro from 2018 to work, launch Safari and launch YouTube as quickly as it used to, that means like I'll be on a 10-year-old iPad by the time it's time to replace. And that would be Apple giving me value for money, which is quite rare.
I'm very sorry about my cat that keeps going.
That's the most vocal cat I've heard without it like kind of screaming. What's wrong? Is he hungry?
Hungry? She's hungry. She's thinks the other cats have been fed, and they probably have, but I'm not going to open the door yet. I'm going to wait until we finish the episode first. So you're going to keep hearing the cat in the background. Do we have, I mean, what are our predictions? Do we think that we're still going to be using these features? Are they going to be a main part of our life, or are they going to mostly be something we forget about in about 6 months' time when a new feature comes out?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag, isn't it? Image Playground is dead on arrival. It always has been.
Who
always
wants
will
it?
be. No one wants it. No one's asked for it. But it looks good on a poster and on an advert, I guess. I think Siri is here to stay. Siri's going to grow and it's going to be across multiple devices. We didn't even mention the HomePod and Apple TV because they didn't, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a big part of the future of those devices.
Hopefully these changes, I'm going to move the cat again. Hopefully these changes now mean that those devices that have been mentioned quite a bit will actually come out. So we'll actually get the HomePod. We'll get the new Apple TV. All the stuff that was reportedly delayed because they couldn't get Apple Intelligence to work. So
yeah, there's going to be the event in autumn is going to be, I think it's going to be a big one.
I mean, that's going to be an expensive month for me, is what I'm going to say. Because I've wanted a new HomePod and I've been waiting almost a year, 2 years, 2 years, I think, to get a new HomePod.
I wonder if they'll be revolutionary and retrofit my old HomePod with a new chip. That'd be great because it sounds brilliant. It's just got a terrible brain.
Very unlikely.
One can hope.
Also, we have to note that we have to say goodbye to Rosetta. I only recently just got this alert on my Mac.
I've been getting it for ages.
For me, it was the Road app. It's the only app that I've got installed that's using Rosetta. So I'm going to guess I've either got to update the Road app or say goodbye to it. I don't know what's going to happen there. But we're not going to get Rosetta with the newest one. I believe you can install Rosetta 2 once you have macOS 27.
Okay, that's good. Because I've got lots of apps that have got that warning on.
Yeah. So that's a good thing for a lot of people who didn't know that. I had no idea that I was running a Rosetta layer, and I wouldn't know because it's so good.
Yeah.
The final thing to ask then, beta or not?
Beta 6 is where I hop in.
That's when I don't know. I don't think I'll put it on my Mac for a bit because I do rely on my Mac quite a lot. It depends on how much more those corners are going to bug me. They really are the thing that annoys me the most on my Mac, and those floating UIs. My phone will probably get on the first public beta.
Really?
The moment the first public beta comes out, I'm that intrigued to give it a try. I might jump on it because I don't mind if my phone resets or anything. That's not what matters to me. I mean, if my phone bricks itself, okay, I'm going to be unhappy then.
Yeah.
But if my Mac loses any files, I'm done for uni. I can't do any more. So yeah, the Mac is definitely going to wait a bit longer, but the iPhone, I'm jumping in.
My phone will I'll never put a beta on my phone. I think I've told the story. I put the iOS 7 beta on my phone and I was on iOS 6, obviously. And I went away to Magaluf for a week on iOS 7 beta. Nobody cared. I cared. No one else cared. But the phone just started messing up. And then my Apple Pay stopped working. And it was disastrous. I couldn't pay for things with my phone. So I will never do that again because we're banking apps and whatnot. My iPad is always my test dummy. And because iPad's getting faster, I might hop in at iOS 5. I'll see what people are saying.
Every time there's a WWDC, and I think I've mentioned this every single time we've done a WWDC, I always want to get an iPad, and then I just don't have a reason to by the time I actually look at buying them. Because
Yeah.
I have an old iPad Air, iPad Air 2 or 3 or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't use it. I don't use it at all. And when I had a new iPad at the time, I still didn't use it that much. It's never been my way of working. Computer has been my main focus.
Yeah.
I will say that after this whole event as well, my interest in the Mac Mini has definitely increased.
Oh, really?
Because of that whole semantic indexing and the fact that it will be able to run the LM on it, that is far more interesting to me than my MacBook that I've currently got.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I'd upgrade my MacBook or if I'd go for a Mac Mini. Because my MacBook is also really good.
Yeah, but it doesn't get. What have you got? An M4?
M2.
You're not going to get the new Siri. Get the MacBook.
Yeah. All right. You sold me on that one.
Sorted.
Good job. Thank you on that one. But yeah, that's it. That's everything discussed.